guys, great to see you all again, and thanks so much for joining me. I'm so happy to have you here with me again. Thanks for joining me. Right, what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about Cornell note-taking. It's a form of note-taking. Some of you may be asking, what is actually note-taking? Well, note-taking is a method of retaining information, of keeping information that you may need to have for an upcoming exam or assessment. So let's say you're in a class and you have a teacher or a lecturer that's talking a lot, giving you a lot of information. How can you remember all that information? So today I'm going to teach you how to remember some of this information that you may need in passing your exam and getting that A grade or even A plus, right? Okay, cool. So the first thing we need to do is you're going to need to have an A4 piece of paper, or quite simply just a Microsoft Word document. You need to open it up. First things first, we need to create a T, so a letter T on the page. So like this, for example, creating a letter T, and so we're gonna kind of divide the page like this here, right? My awesome T here, right? What you want to remember here is you want to always put the title of your lecture or the title of your class or the subject here to help you remember what the content is about. So maybe, for instance here, we can put on, let's say, cyber security here maybe. So cyber and security. That's your lecture, perhaps, just as an example, right, on cyber security, right? Okay, and obviously here you're going to put the date and any other information you think is useful here. Right, first things first, what you've got to remember here, one of the most important things when making your Cornell note is this. So what we need to remember is always on the left-hand side of the page. So the left-hand side, we're always going to include the most important information of like a reading, if you have to read something, or even in the lecture when someone's speaking a lot. Keywords, important information, always left-hand side. So keywords, important information, so I'll just put info short for information, right? So always remember, left-hand side, keywords, important information, always the left-hand side, right? Keywords, important information. You can even have names or even dates of things here on the left-hand side. That's always going to be the most critical part of the information you need to have. It's always going to be on the left-hand side, right? What happens then to this, you're probably asking, well, what's this for, this big open space on the right? Well, this is going to be the relating information to the keywords or important information. This is where you're going to go into more detail, right? So let's have a look. So for example, you can put here, you're going to give more detail. Awesome. So more detail you're going to give to the relating keywords, to the important information. So more detail, more information, right? Info short for information. So more information, more detail will be on the right-hand side. What I recommend you do it in color, because it's easier to remember certain facts and figures and information when you do color code it, right? I've done it in green here. You could do it in red if you want. And the relating information here would be perhaps in blue or even black, right? So that's, in a nutshell, what Cornell note-taking is, right? You're listening to someone speak or you're reading a piece of text that's quite long. You just need to take out the key points, the most important information you think is going to be useful, right? And that's the way to do it. Divide your page into a T, keywords, key information. On this side, you're going to have the relating information, more detail on the right-hand side. All right, guys? Awesome. Let's have a look at an example of this. It'll make more sense than I think, right? So let's switch here. So, right. So, welcome to my homepage, my YouTube channel. Do have a look at some of my recent tutorials here on the various subjects, right? You're welcome to have a look at any time, right? So, we're going to look at an example here of how to Cornell note take with a document. So, let's have a look at, okay, my core shell here. We're going to look at this article here. It's about probably cybercrime, Facebook security breach, up to 50 million accounts hacked. Wow, that's quite a lot, right? We're going to look at this article here, and we're going to Cornell note take this article, right? So let's go to the article. Boom, okay. Here's the actual article here. Articles BBC, right? So as I mentioned, we need to take the most relevant information, the most important information from this rather long article, right? How do we do that? Okay, if you think back to what I just explained to you, we're going to subdivide our page into like a T, important information left, relating information on the right. So if you look at my example here, that's how I've done it, right? So important information, keywords, dates, anything you feel is important, you're going to put it on the left-hand side. And then you're going to have your relating information on the right-hand side, right? The right-hand side, the relating information, right? So let's look at an example here. Let's go back to the article in question. And we can see here, have a look. So I want to take some important information, critical information. What would I take? So I think this is quite important here. So Facebook says almost 50 million of its users were left exposed by a security flaw. That's pretty important, I would say. So you can see here on the left-hand side, I've included that as important information, right? 50 million of its users were left exposed by a security flaw. That's pretty important. Now I need to give a little bit more detail now of that, right, on the right-hand side. So if we go back to the article again, and here's the relating information. So the attackers, or hackers, were able to exploit a vulnerability in a feature known as view as, right? Which then led to gaining control of people's accounts. So we go back to our Cornell note doc, and you can see here, I've included a little bit more detail of that, right? The relating information. So you can see how it connects together. The important information, then you are elaborating, you're giving a bit more detail here on the right hand side. Okay, awesome. So let's look at another example. Let's move down to then another example. Go down further here. I think this is quite important. Who has been affected? So I've used this heading as a key word or key phrase because that's pretty important, right? Who has been affected? So go to our Word doc and you can see here I've written who has been affected on the left hand side because that's pretty important, right? That's key information. And then you can see on the right hand side I have then given the information regarding that. I've elaborated, I've given more detail to that. We go back to the document here, right? So who has been affected? So I've read this, I've just paraphrased it, I've summarized it into my own words. So the firm would not say where exactly in the world the 50 million users are that were compromised by this hack, okay? And you can see here how I've actually included that. The firm will not say where in the world the 50 million users are, and I've given a little bit more information to that. So you can see the connection, right guys, the connection. Important information, and then you're elaborating, you're giving more detail to that important information there, right? So when you look at it before an exam or an assessment, it's going to be very useful because it summarizes the whole lecture that you've just listened to or the article that you've read in a nutshell. It makes it a miniature, makes it very small for you and compact, right? One last thing I'd like to mention is, as you can see, these are the further examples of what I've done here. Maybe what is view as? What is view as? That's pretty important. What is view as? This is a new feature on Facebook where the hackers exploited, right? So this is important. What is view as? And I've read this information here and I've then written it here as it's relating to what is view as. As you can see, it's a new function on Facebook, right? So please do remember that connection there. The last thing I'd recommend you do is then you just make your summary at the bottom here. Just summarize your notes, just read your notes over here, and in your own words, you're just summarizing what you have listed on your Cornell note there. And that is it, guys. That is your Cornell note. That's how to note take effectively in a class, so you retain the information, because it's so easy to forget the information, especially when a teacher or lecturer is talking all the time, and it may be overwhelming sometimes to get that information. So a good method here to retain, to keep that information, is to use the Cornell method of note taking. Right, quickly, just a quick review. So key things to remember: keywords, key dates, anything you feel is important, left hand side. Right? Relating information is going to be on the right hand side. It's going to be the more detailed. It's going to be on the right hand side, relating to what keyword you have put here. Alright? And then lastly but not least, you're just making a summary. You're summarizing what you have written here above. You're looking it over again, and you're just summarizing the main points at the bottom here. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to me again today. It's been awesome having you again. And take care, and check you later.